what they spent
getting there,
yes.
and paying what is now called the black tax, because you have to support your community, and your community expects you to do that. They expect you to create appointments, make sure people are employed. They don't ask, what is the procedure of employment? And if you haven't gotten your community employed until there's a bloated workforce that Kenyan taxpayer pays money for, then you're not a good political leader. So there's a misalignment. So how do we deal with this colonial frame where political leaders must benefit themselves? The dynasty of Uhuru Kenyatta, got into the milk sector, for instance, and they did what they did, passed regulation, weakened the sector so that they were actually monopolizing the sector to put their own company at the center of this. And this is documented. And they went into several sectors with the same kind of mindset. And this is what we call the dynasty. And that's what you've heard William Ruto and the Kenya Kwanza proponents talking about, getting rid of the dynasty. Irrespective of the fact that many of the politicians in Kenya Kwanza were in Jubilee and were part of building this dynasty. Now that they are there, what are we seeing? So the question we should be asking is, are they going to dismantle the dynasty? We've seen some actions against, some of the financial decisions that have been made against some of the companies that would impact the former First Family interests. Is that dismantling the dynasty? Or is dismantling the dynasty about accountability in the economic system? So what it looks like is they now want to create an oligarchy, because it can't be a dynasty. There is no historical wealth to protect. You have to make the wealth. And right now that wealth is held by the state. So if you privatize public institutions which own large trunks of land, which are in very privileged sectors such as energy. We've seen recent contracts being awarded. An independent power producer was a production contract was awarded to Gideon Moy's family. How was that done? Was that above board? What are the terms of that? Was that a competitive process? Is that the only family or interest company that could have taken that contract? So what we are now seeing is,
how does one company become family though, Wanjiru?
No. The point I'm making is you have to be politically connected. An oligarchy means that a few politically connected people benefit from the privatization process because public services are increasingly being delivered through partnerships with private companies.
Why does it sound to me like state capture?
Well, it's maybe in the semantics.
It's another
the
way.
Principle is the same.
It's the same principle.
It is still a state capture from a dynasty to an oligarchy. It's now not one family benefiting. It's now going to be a lot more people benefiting, like what we saw in Russia. The main thing is you still muzzle citizen voice. Citizens will still then not get the best value. You undermine democracy. Because you are actually violating the state contract. And it is still bad governance because you have to offend the constitution to do it.
There is a reality here that we sometimes miss in our conversation, and that is whether it's an oligarchy, whether it's a dynastic system, there's always a support system with it. The dynasty you talk, it's not one family, it's many families, it's many people. It's just that it's a club. It's always a club. It's a group of people. With an oligarchy, it's a group of people. The only thing is, it's a new group of people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So the question that Ndu asked is this process going to dismantle the state capture?
That capture.
And we are saying no, it's not. Kenya Kwanza has made promises, but no, they are not going to dismantle state capture. They are replacing the actors in state capture so they can capture themselves.
Our guest has arrived 46 minutes late. Okay, but he's here. The Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah is the leader of the majority in the National Assembly. Good morning.
Morning, Latif.